Now, a popular monthly compassionate cafe run by Peace Hospice Care in Watford is about to celebrate its first birthday. Now, the cafe has been providing support for local communities and welcoming families with a friendly chat and chance to meet over a cup of tea. The cafe has become particularly important, as you can imagine, since COVID, and it's a place where people can go after they have suffered a loss. Now, to tell us more, I'm joined by Fiona Hobbs at Peace Hospice Care and Linda Anderson. Hello, girls.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. I want to start with Linda. Linda, you're the owner of the kitchen in Croxley, where the cafe takes place. Why did you allow this to happen? What sort of resonated with you?
Oh, well, it was a no-brainer, really. When we received the phone call, actually, it was quite a compliment because I think it was Charlie that got in touch with me, my contact there, first of all, and said, look, you know, it's nice. They said you're pretty much an obvious choice because this is the type of thing that we've been trying to do for a while, sort of like independently. And it's just wonderful to have teamed up with the hospice and be part of this initiative because we've always tried to have little get-togethers throughout the week and be a very sort of welcoming place for people who might be on their own or sad for some reason. And we were absolutely thrilled. I mean, you know, to get in touch with Fiona and to find out more about this. And it was like, yes, let's start like next week. We were so excited about it. And I'm sure Fiona will tell you more about how successful it's been.
Yeah, Fiona, please do. Welcome, Fiona.
Thank you. Thanks for that, Linda. That was lovely to hear. Yes, it's been a great success, and I couldn't have thought of a better partners for us to start off with than the kitchen in Croxley. It's a wonderful, gorgeous cafe. You just walk in there and it takes your breath away. And the first thing you see is a fluorescent sign saying "Eat cake." So
good. Well done, Linda. Tick.
And they do wonderful coffees and drinks and cakes and homemade stuff. So it's a really welcoming place, as Linda said. It's a real community hub, and it's just clean, cosy, bright, sort of happy space, really. And it's got a great community atmosphere. That, you know, everyone in the cafe knows everyone who walks past. It's sort of the ideal, you know, that you want in Britain or wherever, really, to be part of that. And so, yes, so some people have just came in. One person came in was really a bit worried and a bit reluctant, you know, as you would be, to come into a cafe they'd never been to meet a bunch of people they'd never met before and talk about the most intimate, you know, frightening, tear-inducing things, you know, and the most painful thing that's just happened to you. Anyway, she came along with a relative, and she comes back every month. She's wonderful, become a friend to lots of people, and got a new best friend from there who support each other. And she just found it really, you know, welcoming and supportive. And I know she said she knows that if people say, "Hi, how are you?" they really mean it.
Yes, they're not paying her lip service.
They're not going, "How are you?" Anyway, what I did today,
yes,
you know, and you can just stare at someone with tears in your eyes and go, "I'm not good." And they go, "Sit down," or whatever. But it's not just people sitting around crying.
No.
As we said, it's anyone who's suffered any form of loss, which effectively is all of us, really, isn't it?
Of course it is.
So, you know, it's husbands, wives, it might be teenagers, it might be, you know, parents, grandparents, anything. But people, it's just a bond, really, an instant bond that people know that other people get it. They've had that sort of pain. And you see people, I have to say, it's just over time, you see people healing and just coming in and saying, "I went into London for the first time on my own since my husband died."
Well,
and she said, you know, it doesn't sound a big thing, but that's massive for me, you know?
It is massive. And the other thing that I think with this type of group, because I have been involved with a group like this at my old radio station, and the thing I learnt from that was that people that came to the group, you don't always want to talk about it with other people in your family. And actually, there's a lot of peace in talking about how you're feeling with people that don't know you and don't know the person that you know that has died. And actually, it's much more almost the people that I spoke to, they were like, it was just better to talk about it here than upsetting family members who are already dealing with their own grief. But actually they said just come in here and listening to other people and knowing where they are in their journey was really helpful to them.
Absolutely, yes. I couldn't agree more, and other people have said that. And that links, because the cafes do stem from another community service that we run at the hospice, at Peace Hospice Care, called Compassionate Neighbours. I don't know if you've heard of that.
No.
That's a social movement, and there's about 12 hospices, mainly in the southeast, involved, and it's just local people who are enabled and supported to be more compassionate, basically, in the local community, or as I call it, fluffy. But it's basically compassion. It's just social emotional support. So we have trained volunteers who are trained in, death, dying, loss, and sharing their experiences, who will partner up with. We match them up with somebody who might have a life-limiting illness or be lonely or bereaved or socially isolated. And there's a lot of people, as you can imagine, as you say, particularly in COVID times and beyond. And so we just partner them up, and they get a new friend, someone who can just visit them, take them out to the shops, go to a cafe. And so that's all very, very linked, really. And a lot of people who might be end of life or might have just been diagnosed find it easier to talk to somebody else rather than their family. Some people, their family won't talk about it at all.
Linda, what sort of feedback have you had in the cafe?
Oh, it's been wonderful. I've said to a few people that people who do come on their own very, very rarely leave on their own. And we've seen people that have met at the Compassionate Cafe coming back, with a friend that they've made and maybe having a cup of coffee, some cake, or maybe, a little lunch get together. So I think it's spread beyond the Friday morning get-togethers, and we try to have an initiative every day at the kitchen. So on a Tuesday we have chatter and natter, on a Thursday we have knit and natter, on a Wednesday we have getting together. So we have these sort of time. I mean, everyone is welcome all the time, obviously, but these are times when, if you are particularly looking for somebody to talk to, or if you don't mind chatting to somebody, we have sort of designated tables. And, we've seen people who've perhaps met on a Friday morning coming along then to chatter and natter, or bringing their knitting on a Thursday. So your feedback's been wonderful. And, at the end of the sessions, people will sometimes sort of like hang back to talk to me and say, thank you ever so much. This has been really helpful. I can think of one, particular person who, a while ago, she would come in and, she would be very, very sad and tearful. But, I see her now on a Friday morning, and it's just wonderful that she's, made these new friends, and it's just such a positive thing. We absolutely love it. I have to say that one session, we had to get like folding chairs out of our storeroom because
there were so many people.
There's so many people there.
Do you know what?
This goes to show there's such a need for this type of thing. And our big thing at the kitchen, we often put hashtag on our posts is hashtag never be lonely, and it's just such a big thing to us. Nobody should be lonely, especially at such a difficult time when I'm getting choked up, when you've suffered loss. That's when
absolutely
you really need people there for you.
It's like a big warm hug, this conversation. I mean, and that's you, that's just you telling me about it. Never mind actually coming along. So if people are in that area, Fiona, can you just tell us where it is and how people need to get involved, or where they can find information?
Yeah, sure. So this actual one, which is our first, pilot one, really is in the Kitchen Cafe in Croxley, in Hertfordshire, and it's the first Friday of every month from 10 o'clock to about 11:30, but it always goes on because everyone's really happy to be there. So it starts at 10 o'clock, and it's just drop in. If you want to just come in, have a quick cuppa, and then go, and that's fine. We're hoping. I mean, ideally, we want to open up millions of these. That's my aim.
Yeah. What a great idea.
We're also always looking for compassionate neighbour volunteers who might spend an hour a week supporting someone. We have compassionate neighbours who come along to the cafe because they're trained. And also Linda and her wonderful staff had some training, didn't you, Linda, which was wonderful, of how to, maybe talk to or listen to people who are bereaved or who are grieving or whatever. Normally they haven't got time to bless them because they're too busy making so many coffees and things. So, but that's the idea of it. And then, yes, we're hoping to open up some other ones. So if in doubt, contact Peace Hospice Care, or you can get in touch with me at Peace Hospice Care, Fiona.
And you're always welcome, Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but you're always welcome to call us and say that you're thinking of coming, and then we can keep a lookout for you and maybe speak to someone else to be
Ladies,
here to welcome you.
It's so good to talk to you both, and you've restored my faith in good human beings and wonderful people. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.